that, when we get on the court, the only thing matters is winning. And, we're going to stay with the process every single day, watching film, talking about everything, talking it through, and just getting to know each other. It's been amazing. So being able to play with Rondo and LeBron, two guys that I've thoroughly enjoyed playing against, since I was, 14, 15 years old, it's been amazing.
We have time for one more. Let's go to Ferdinand. All right, appear to be having trouble there. Ferdinand, one more last call.
You hear me now?
Yes, we've got you.
Hey, Dwight from Puerto Rico. How do you describe this year with the Lakers?
Say it again.
How do you describe this year with the Lakers?
Oh man, this year has been it's like a really great roller coaster. We've had some really good things happen. We had some terrible things happen within our, with the Lakers. And it's like I said earlier, with the passing of the greatest player ever to come out of LA, the Lakers, one of the greatest players ever back playing. Right around this time last year, we were, getting ready to go to China. So the fact that we're still playing basketball has been like a roller coaster for us. But 2020 has been crazy, but it's also been one of the best years, of my life. Despite all the things that have happened, a lot of things have turned around, and it's just a testimony to anybody. Just always stay positive, no matter what life gives you. Life is really a roller coaster. It's a journey. And some people come in your life, some things come in your life for a season, for a reason, and sometimes for a lifetime. And I think, throughout this whole process, all of us have developed, really some lifetime friendships and bonds with teammates and people here in the bubble, that we can carry on forever. So this year's been crazy, and hopefully we can top it off with a great championship. We're looking forward to game 2 and coming out with some more intensity and putting the pressure on the Heat.
Thanks for your time, Dwight.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Danny.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Dwight was just talking about how difficult it has been to be in a bubble for this extended period of time. I think I have you guys there for 84 days now. How tough and challenging has it been? And do you guys now start to see the light at the end of this? And you can get through this now because, as you guys like to say, you're near the goal line?
Well, we have a lot of work to do, but first and foremost, I want to make sure I reiterate the bigger picture here. We want people to get out and vote. I can't urge you enough. It's very imperative that we all get out there and make sure we vote, and make sure we recognize and remember the people who have not gotten justice, the families who have not gotten justice: Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Jacob Blake, so many other families, so many names. But yes, it has been challenging to have a 48-hour Groundhog Day pretty much throughout our whole time here. Every 2 days is the same. It's either game day or practice day treatment. We stay on the same campus, eat at the same restaurant, go to the same gyms, same room, so same hotel access. So yeah, but yes, we say we're at the goal line. We still have some work to do, but we do see the light at the end of the tunnel. We do know that it's close to the end. We know it's near. We do know we only have a short amount of time before this is all finished, but we want to make sure we finish on the right note and continue to get our work done. So we're not looking ahead. We're not looking at the light. We're not looking at the end zone. We're looking for the next yard. We're looking for the next first down. So yeah, we got to get those done first before we get to the end zone.
All right, let's go to Greg Logan.
Danny, this is Greg Logan from Newsday on Long Island. I was wondering if you could tell me, first of all, what it would mean to you to be one of 4 players, including LeBron, to win a title with 3 different franchises. What kind of accomplishment would you consider that?
Being lucky. To be on 3 different teams, 3 different franchises is, but is it just the accomplishment of winning a title and stuff? That's what I think about more than anything. I don't really look about the background or the teams or how many organizations or who else has done it in different organizations. Just being fortunate enough to be able to be in this stage that many times, regardless of the same team or not, or different teams, and be able to hold up a trophy more than once. Extremely blessed, extremely fortunate, very lucky. But yeah, it's a very humbling list, a humbling category to be mentioned with, alongside with so many other greats. That's just for me. I just want to continue to win, compete, and so at the end of the day, if whatever accolades or whatever categories or lists that I make, it's special and it's humbling, but it just goes to show how long I've been playing, and hopefully I can play a couple more years to be able to make some other weird lists that they have out there.
One other quick question. When you were a free agent, what was it like to join this cast with the Lakers? What is it like in your experience to play with LeBron? And especially because you've always understood your particular role and focused on executing it your whole career. So what has that whole relationship been like to be one of those cast members with LeBron?
It's been amazing, man. They've welcomed me since day one. Obviously, free agency, this is where I wanted to be, and I got everything I expected and more from free agency. So I was extremely happy about where I landed, the deal that we made happen, and the pieces that I'm able to play with and put together that we all, as a roster, and to be here, in this position, this opportunity. I know I still have ways to go in doing my job and to fulfilling what I have promised them or what they expect of me. But hopefully, so we got a couple weeks here left. We can make that happen, get that done. But yeah, from day one, it's been a lot of fun. They welcomed me with open arms. Been Bron's teammate before. I was a rook at one time, and just learning from him then and now, and be able to play with him actually help, and actually him look at me as a threat or somebody that could actually change the game or help him succeed or win and build his legacy is amazing. And it's very humbling. And I said, I've just been very fortunate and lucky in that sense as well.
Over to you. One last call for Helene. It looks like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Oh, sorry.
Perfect. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Just wanted to ask you, Danny, last night KCP was talking about you and called you playoff Danny, which to me seems, no, why are you shaking your head? It seems like a pretty good compliment to me. Don't you take it that way?
For sure. I mean, I'm far from that. I'm far from where I know I want to be or where I should be. But I just try to do my job to the best of my ability and be active. That starts with the defensive end of the floor, and then making the game easier for the guys around me. Offensively, I know it'll come, but of course I want to knock down shots and hopefully build rhythm. Finally starting to see the worm turn for me here, some games here and there. But I know we'll always have a chance when we have LeBron and AD, offensively and defensively. As long as I do my job, we'll always be in games, whether I play well or not on the offensive end of the floor. I know defense end of the floor, if I bring it, it makes it easier for them. Offensively, they make the game easy for us. And regardless of how bad we're shooting or how bad we're playing offensively, they're still going to keep us in some way, some shape or form.
To piggyback off of that, Danny, KCP mentioned how the team never lost faith in you when you weren't exactly playing up to your standards as a shooter. Can you talk a bit about the role your teammates played in helping you get through that slump and keeping you confident?
Yeah, somebody kept firing. They kept believing in me. They kept looking at me. They kept expecting more. They kept expecting when it to happen. They feel like, oh, you're going to hit 5, you're going to hit 6. But, they didn't put no pressure on me. They just encouraged me. They stayed positive. And same, we've done the same for each other. Even when KC's been in that situation, that scenario, we've all been there. There's been a couple of us trying to find a rhythm. There's only 2 guys that are great, and regardless if they have an off night or not, even when they do have an off night, they still do it pretty well on this team. Everybody else outside of those 2 guys have had struggles of finding a rhythm, and we've all been there to help support each other and get it through it mentally and emotionally. So, they've been the backbone, the foundation to everything I've done thus far this year, and they'll continue to be that. And hopefully that I can continue to make them proud and to hold my end up of the bargain and do my job.
Dennis, over to you.
Danny, given the fact that the NBA, black players make up 75%, nearly 75% of all players in the NBA, and yet there are only 4 African-American head coaches. Is that something that should be a concern or worry for players?
I don't know about a concern or worry, but it's definitely something that is in the back of our minds. It's something that we know and something that, we would like to change. And I think a lot of players that have played and are playing hope to coach one day. And I think because of how the world is changing now, they'll have that opportunity. I think also because of how well they're understanding the game and how the game is growing and how high of IQ these guys are learning at, or the rate that they're learning at, and how they're studying things, they're giving themselves opportunity. And the fact that those numbers are out there and that you know them and other people know them, I think that the league will try to, we would hope, we would try to change that and give, our communities, our minorities a fair chance to be able to be in those positions. But I don't think it's a worry or concern. All the coaches, no disrespect to any other coaches, we think they're all great and all good and understand the game. But I think the opportunities will come for those in due time, and hopefully in the near future.
All right, we've got time for 2 more. Let's go to Miriam. All right, it looks like we may be having a problem there. Let's go to Greg.
Danny, one more related to Long Island. During the pause in the season, did you have much chance to get home and touch base with family on Long Island? Were you able to hold your camp? And finally, have you been able to bring any family there to the bubble with you?
I just brought my fiance here, man. She's not from Long Island, but I did get a chance to go back for 1 weekend before I got into the bubble. But when everything went shut down, my family is a little older. My grandma's a little older. So I stayed away. I stayed in California for quarantine for most of the time. I quarantined myself for a while. We all quarantined when things shut down after we played Brooklyn. And I just worked out, tried to figure out ways to work out. But I did spend 1 weekend before I knew I was flying into the bubble to go home, see my family when I knew I was kind of clear and didn't have anything, try to travel safely, make sure everything was clean, and visit my dad. I think it was around Father's Day and around my birthday. I went to go see my family. Got a chance to see my grandma and everybody. My last trip away, only trip away during quarantine before I was coming to the bubble. So I was only there for about a weekend. I'm sure once we get out of here, it'll be winter there at that point. But I'm sure I'll go back at some point in November.
All right, I think that's all we have time for here on Zoom. Do we have any last questions on site?
We are good on site.